Today I actually want to focus on how do you know if a stock is a good stock or a bad stock. And pretty much really want to talk mostly about stocks because that is generally what most people are interested in. They're interested in stocks. I think a lot of people kind of got suckered into the myth that, you can do some day trading and kind of get rich overnight, just from investing in stocks alone. As we talked about in our last segment, there's plenty of different things for you to invest in. You've got stocks, you've got bonds, you've got mutual funds, ETFs, commodities such as gold and silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as the Forex market. And then you've also got REITs and different things of that nature. Today I just kind of want to focus on whether or not an investment is a good investment or a bad investment, all right, and how you actually tell whether or not something is a good investment or a bad investment. Want to start off by saying, number one, I really do not recommend day trading for the beginning trader. And so day trading are people who generally just kind of sit around, watching the market all day. They'll buy a stock and trade it in the same day. They mess with a lot of penny stocks and different things of that nature. Most people that I'm talking to are people who are investing for the long term, okay? So you've got short-term investing and long-term investing. When I'm investing into my portfolio, I don't do a lot of buying and selling and different things of that nature. I invest thinking that that the stock market is not gonna reopen 10 years from now, okay? So that's actually a tip that was given by Warren Buffett in one of his books. And he said that when you start investing, you should invest as if the stock market is not going to reopen for 10 years, which means you are investing for the long term, okay? So keep that in mind, guys. And if you can't afford to lose it, please do not invest it, all right? So how do you determine if something is a good investment or not, especially when you're dealing with stocks? Well, number one, you want to look at the company, the history of the company, the growth of the company. You want to invest in companies that are really, really stable, such as your Google, Amazon, Coca-Cola, Netflix, different companies like that, because, you're keeping in mind, you don't want your money to tank or to go down to zero. Well, that's really hard to do if you're investing in a company that is a really, really good, stable growth earning company. So, keep that in mind. You want to pick companies that are really good companies that have been out for a while, not a company that just had their IPO or, something like that. An IPO is an initial public offering, which means they just actually went public. They just got into the market where you can actually start buying stocks and different things of that nature. All right, so you want to make sure, first and foremost, that the company is very, very stable. Another thing that you want to look at is the dividends that you can receive for investing in this stock. So not only do there's two different ways that we make money with stocks. One, you make money from it actually performing well and growing. So if you bought a stock at $5 and now it's at $10 a share, then of course that's how you're going to make money. You've more than doubled your money. Now also, a lot of stocks or some stocks actually will pay you a dividend. A dividend is a percentage that they actually pay you for investing into that company. You may have a 1% dividend, a 2% dividend, a 3% dividend, etc. Really, really important to look at what the dividend is actually going to pay out. And I'm going to show you guys in just a second how you can look and determine what a dividend is for each particular stock. Now, another way that you can really, really make a lot of money is by reinvest them. And so that's how you can make even more money over time, is by continuing to reinvest your dividends. That's actually how you actually get that compounding interest and continue to grow your money, okay? Another thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is paying attention to the news, okay? I know a lot of people right now are watching the news due to the COVID-19 virus. However, if you're going to be an avid investor into the market, you want to make sure that you're always watching the news. It's very, very important to make sure that you know what's going on, to make sure that you know what these companies are doing, to make sure that you are just doing your research, okay? You don't want to invest in something just because, and this is what a lot of people do. A lot of people, so like for example, a couple days ago, Netflix and, was it Google or Amazon? I think it was Google. No, it was Amazon, I'm sorry. Netflix and Google hit their highest peak, okay? That happened a couple of days ago, and that was very, very widespread news. Well, guess what happened after that? A lot of people went and was just like, oh my God, they're up. They're doing so well. Let me go buy some Netflix stock. No, because you're coming in at the highest price. Instead of buying it last year or buying it 3 months ago when it was lower, that's when you actually come in and buy, okay? You don't want to go in and start buying when something is up, when the demand is high, because that means that the price is also going to be really high as well, okay? So even if there is you found a good company that you do want to invest in, it's very, very important to make sure that you get in and that you invest at the right time, okay? That is extremely important. We want to make sure that we do not sell anything when the market is low, because we don't want to lock in our losses. You only sell when the market, you sell when the market is up and when it's performing and when it's doing well. So then you can shave off of some of those earnings at that point, and then continue to keep your principal invested, into the market. So keep that in mind, that is really, really important, okay? You also want to make sure when you're investing that you have a decent amount of money to start with, okay? Because it's not free to invest, okay? Different things if you're investing in stocks, generally it can be anywhere from $10 to $50, if you're investing in some foreign international stocks. So you want to make sure that you at least have about $500, to start investing. If you're investing in mutual funds, it depends on whether or not it's an A share, B share, C share fund. Some funds have front end charges and some do not. So you really want to make sure that you read, your prospectus and read, the information that is there on some of these different investments so that you know exactly how much you're being charged. Because of course, if you're going in at $500, it's not going to be $500 that's invested, because it does cost to get in there. So you want to make sure that you're aware of all the different all the different fees and things of that nature. Another thing that I want to make sure that people are very, very aware of is ETFs and mutual funds, okay? So, for example, my portfolio is very large. I've got over 6 figures invested into the stock market. I've got a large portfolio, and so my portfolio is not just stocks, okay? You've got to have some cushion somewhere. So I've got a portfolio that's filled with stocks, bonds, ETFs, and mutual funds, all right? So you're probably thinking, what are ETFs? What are mutual funds, okay? So mutual funds, as I talked about in my last segment, mutual funds are actually a portfolio of various stocks and bonds and different things of that nature that's actually managed by generally a brokerage company, or Franklin Templeton, or somebody like that. ETFs is a portfolio of various stocks, and so that's going to kind of give you some cushion. All right, so you don't want to be this huge risky investor out there. You definitely want to make sure that you're investing for the long run. I try to use the example of Uber. Everybody knows about Beyonce and a lot of other people that were already super rich, becoming more rich and investing in Uber. However, Uber would not have been a smart investment for some of us average folks out there, okay? Because there wasn't a lot of information on the company. It was definitely a growth stock, and so there wasn't, a lot of information out there at the time, on Uber. You couldn't look to see, okay, well, what did it do 3 years ago? What did it do 5 years ago, etc. So a lot of times those riskier investments like that, where you kind of get in before they go public, you're gonna see a lot of your richer people that are taking those risks and investing in those type of stocks. So keep in mind, you want to start somewhere. You want to start small and then you kind of grow, okay? Start with actually researching companies, researching stocks. I showed you guys in the last segment how you can actually look to see how a stock has performed in the past month, past 3 months, past year, 5 years, etc. Make sure that you're looking at that data. Make sure that you're looking to see if that stock pays a dividend, okay? What I want to do right now is kind of go into an app that's a pretty popular app that a lot of people use to invest in, and just kind of show you guys a little bit more how you can look at the history of different stocks and what they have going on, and kind of go from there to determine whether or not a stock is a good stock or not. All right, guys, so let's dig a little bit deeper in just investigating and looking at some of these stocks. So one of the things that's really important to note, if you notice, this thing is changing all throughout the day. Even the few little seconds that I've had my phone up, you see that the numbers are changing. And that's because the stock market is changing all throughout the day. As I told you guys, the stock market opens at 9:30 a.m. and it closes at 4:30 p.m. Okay, so stocks are always going to be going up and down during the time period that the market is open. All right, so this is one of my smaller accounts that's with Robinhood. Like I said, there's so many different ways that you can invest. One of the first ways that you can invest is by going through a full service brokerage firm, which I do as well. My larger portfolio is with Merrill Lynch. However, I don't want to have to call them every single time that I hear about a good stock pick or something like that. So I've got a little smaller account that I actually manage on my own, okay? So this is through the app Robinhood. It's a very popular app for a lot of beginning investors and things of that nature. All right, so when you come into the app, this is the first screen that you're gonna see. It's kind of like your home page, and so it's gonna have your entire portfolio right here. It's gonna show you what your portfolio has done within the time frame that you've been investing with Robinhood. Right below it, it's going to have your buying power. So this is how much money that I actually have available right now to buy stocks with. And so I've only got $7.90 in here. I do have my bank account set up to it, so I can always transfer some more money in here at any time that I choose to do so. All right. Right up here is going to be just a little detailed summary of what it is that I have in this portfolio. So I'm invested in VSLR. I've got 50 shares. I'm invested in BA, which is Boeing. I've got 5 shares. American Airlines, 25 shares. United Airlines, I've got 5 shares. Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, I've got 45 shares. 106 shares. Delta, 61 shares. BYND is Beyond Meat. I've got 20 shares. ACB, now these are just actually, ACB and FIT are just some free stocks that Robinhood has given me just for doing business with them. And they have all kind of different, little things like that. And then I also have Bitcoin in my portfolio. I've been kind of investing more heavily in Bitcoin because I personally feel like that due to the coronavirus and just the spread of viruses and things of that nature, I feel like digital currency is going to become more and more popular. So I actually invested about $3,000, $3 more thousand into Bitcoin yesterday. Let me actually show you guys as well with Cash App. I'm not sure if I've showed this before, but with Cash App, you can actually invest as well. And so I've got just a little bit of money in Bitcoin as well, just from my Cash App. All right. So let's go back into Robinhood. Got to use my Face ID to get in. But all right, so back into Robinhood. Now, right below that, you'll actually see a watch list. And so the watch list, what they do is they put together different stocks that maybe you've looked up or things that you may possibly be interested in based upon what you're investing in now. All right, so let's take a look at, for example, Netflix. All right, so Netflix, as I was saying, they hit their peak a couple of days ago, and so their stock is just up higher than ever. It's a little down today. It's down by 4.82%, down by 21 bucks from yesterday, but still doing very, very well. All right, so now when you're interested in a stock, this is how you find out information about it. All right, so what you'll do is you'll go down here to search, and you'll put the stock ticker symbol in here. You can easily find stock ticker symbols just by Google. Okay, so you just go to Google and what's the stock ticker symbol for Google or for Netflix or for whatever the case may be. So I'm going to, and here you don't have to just have the symbol, you can actually type in the company's name. So I was gonna bring Netflix up again, but I just wanted to show you guys exactly how you go in there and search. All right, so Netflix, their stock ticker is NFLX. So that's Netflix. This is the current price that it's trading for right now at this very moment. This could change at any point throughout the day. Like I told you guys, this is the stock market, so it's constantly going up. As you just saw, it just changed to $418.26. Now it just changed again, $418.32. And I mean, as I'm talking, it's just, this thing is just moving. So that's just a very good example, guys, of how the prices of stocks fluctuate all throughout the day. All right. Now, right up under that, you're going to see a graph, and so you're going to see exactly this stock's performance and what it's done in one day, what it's done in 1 week. So of course, if I mentioned that it's hit its peak, then we would expect to see in 1 week, you know, a little bit of growth there. And so that's what you're seeing in 1 month. This is what it's done in 1 month. And I actually had spoke about Netflix. This is, and that's why it's really, really good to make sure that you do your own research. At the end of this, I'm actually going to give you guys 15 stock tips that should be in anyone's portfolio. But I see a lot of people giving a lot of tips right now, and they're generally doing like Boeing, some of the cruise ships, some of the airlines, different things of that nature, but haven't really seen many people talking about Netflix. And of course, as we know, for a lot of people being home right now and not working, Netflix is really just kind of soaring through the roof. So kind of keep that in mind. All right, so this is one of the graphs and different things that you'll use to base information about the company. Okay, so 1 month, then you're able to look at 3 months. So its price has gone up by $77.34. So almost 23% over the past 3 months. Let's see what it's done in 1 year. In 1 year, it's gone up 14.63%. And then in 5 years, it's grown 522%. So number one, guys, look at what this shows you. If you're just hanging on for a day, you may lose, all right? So, but if you keep your money invested over 5 years, 522% that this stock is up. And so that's why it is so important to make sure that you are investing your money for the long term, okay? That's just like I've got a little bit over $10,000 in this account. All of my stocks are pretty much invested into non-risky, very stable companies. And if I leave that money in there for 5 years and don't even touch it and don't even add anything to it, I could easily see this portfolio grow to $50,000, you know. However, that's not going to happen overnight. And so I definitely want to make sure that you guys realize that, okay? All right, so then down here, it's going to show you some stats. It's going to show you what this stock opened at, what its high was, what its low was, what its 52-week high was, and what its 52-week low was, okay? So as you see, you actually could have lost quite a bit depending upon when you came in, Or if you came in when this thing was low, when the market was low, then your money could have grown, you know. So the market works, guys. You know, if you keep your money invested and do not take it out and don't sell when it's low, it will always bounce back, I promise you. All right, now right up here is gonna be, as I was telling you guys, it's so important to make sure that you're watching the news. Right up under here is gonna be some news articles for you. They normally only put just like 2 or 3 to save room. However, you can go down here and you can click show me more, and you've got more news articles here. Now, let's talk about a couple things. There were actually a couple of CEOs that I had made mention about. We all know what happened with oh man, what was her name? It's like on the tip of my tongue. Martha Stewart, my girl Martha Stewart, all right? So we know what happened with Martha Stewart, and we know what happens with a lot of these CEOs that are sometimes privy to different company information, okay? And so we talked about that you shouldn't really sell out, you know, when the market is low or different things of that nature. But let's talk about when you should sell, okay? You should sell when you're watching the news and you're able to forecast that a recession is coming, okay? So let's talk about back in December, when this coronavirus stuff started first, you know, getting out there. And let's say you were somebody who has been around for a while, maybe had some political connections or different things of that nature, and you knew, wow, this is gonna really turn into something else. Or you could kind of see it happening in January, different things of that nature, because the market really didn't start fluctuating until March, okay? And I think we kind of had some signs in February as to what was gonna happen. That was the perfect time to sell, okay? But you don't want to sell right now because the market is already down, okay? You only want to sell when it's high, all right? So, but that's just different examples of how you can use news and use other things, you know, that you may know to determine what's going to happen in the market and whether or not that you should sell. Now, if you didn't get that information and you didn't have an opportunity to sell, just keep your money in there, because guess what? History shows us it's going to go back up. So we've got our news articles here, and we know how we can also see more articles. I would definitely encourage you to make sure that you're doing your research on any companies that you look to possibly invest in. All right. So then right here, you've got your analyst ratings, and these are very good to make sure that you look at as well. It's going to give you your buy rating. And they use a lot of Morningstar. I love Morningstar as well. Morningstar.com is a really good financial site to give you good stock picks and just talk a lot about, you know, what the market is doing and things of that nature. All right. And down here, you've got your earnings. If this stock pays any dividends, you would have seen it down in here. So we were talking about dividends and things of that nature. And if it pays some dividends, you would see it, you know, right in here. So no dividends paid with this one. Still a great stock though. All right, and then so see your earnings down here, and then down here it's also going to show you other stocks that individuals who have bought Netflix that they've purchased as well. And a lot of these are really good, you know, stable companies. You get your Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia, that's also a really good one. Microsoft, of course, is great. Disney is good. Alibaba is good. Square is good. Twitter as well. So make sure that you look at like some of the things that they recommend as well. All right. So let's say we've decided, oh, and then they're even going to tell you who the CEO is, where the headquarters is, when it was founded, how many employees they have, etc. So definitely just really good information on anything that you choose to invest in right here at your fingertips through your Robinhood app. And it's completely free to sign up with Robinhood, guys. All right, so then down here, the very last thing it's going to allow you to do is to be able to buy. Now, it would have said buy or sell if I actually had some Netflix stock in this portfolio. I've got quite a bit of Netflix stock, but it's in my main portfolio. It's not in this one. So right now it just gives me an option to buy. Now, just to play around, we're gonna put, like I told you guys, I'm broke right now. I only got $7 available to buy. So of course, I can't even afford. We saw that right now, The shares are selling for $418.40. And do you guys see how this is just changing every second? I mean, it's crazy. But if I wanted to buy one share, this is what it would cost me. Now, being that this stock is fluctuating, I've got a few different options. So over here where it says order types, you can click on order types, and you can either have an order that's a market order, okay? And so if it's a market order, that means I just want to buy it, period. I don't care if the thing goes from $418.40 to $419, I'm buying it, all right? And so if that's the case, you'll just do a market buy, okay? Now, most people do limit orders. And so a limit order allows you to specify the maximum amount that you're willing to pay per share for Netflix. And what it will also do is give you a time period that you can hold this for. So you may say, all right, yeah, man, this thing gonna go down. The market is still fluctuating. I'm gonna buy it because I know that this is a good stock and it's gonna do well over a period of time, but I only wanna buy it at $375. I don't wanna buy it at any more than that, okay? So you'll put that in, and then you can say, I only want to buy it while the market is open, or I want to extend the hours. I'll buy it even when the market isn't open. And excuse me, I said that the market closes at 4:30, it actually closes at 4 p.m. Sorry about that, guys. But you can actually extend the hours here. So definitely different types. You got stop loss, stop limit. Most beginning traders won't really use that, but definitely market and limit orders, and definitely limit orders are pretty much the most popular orders, because as you see, the stock market is always fluctuating and you want to get it at the best price possible. Once you decide, how you want to get it, you would just do that one share, review, and then generally buy. Now, as I told you guys, I don't have enough money in here, so I would have to make a deposit if I wanted to buy. This is a very, very trustworthy app, so you don't have to worry about, linking your bank account and anything happening or anything of that nature. All right. And just keep in mind, guys, like this is when a lot of millionaires are made, are during recessions. If you got some money that is just sitting in your bank, it's not doing anything for you. Okay. If you're not as risky and you really don't want to mess with stocks, you feel like you don't know enough, which after watching my videos, you should definitely know enough, whether you've seen some of my free courses that are on helpgrowmybusiness.teachable.com, or you've subscribed to my YouTube channel, WhoIsSnoop, and have been able to take advantage of looking at some of my videos, you should be ready to start investing in the market just a little bit. But if not, there's still things like bonds and money market accounts that will be a little bit better than just your money just sitting in your bank account. So most importantly, guys, you want to make sure that your money is continuing to work hard for you. You want to make sure that you can take advantage of any type of down markets that may be right now or any time in the future. And third and final thing that I want to recap on and make sure that you guys realize is that we do not sell when the market is down. We buy when the market is down, we hold on, and we sell when the market is high. All right, so y'all heard it from me, WhoIsSnoop. Like I said, make sure you go to helpgrowmybusiness.teachable.com for all of my online courses. Follow me on Instagram at WhoIsSnoop, and make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, WhoIsSnoop. I'll holla at y'all.